everybody, welcome back to my channel. How have you all been doing? Fine, I believe. We're back with a bang. It's been a while, isn't it? Anyway, it's good to be back on here. How have you all been? How are you going on with your IELTS, with your exams, with your OSCEs? Hope I have new OSCE passes. Congratulations to you. And how are you settling into the UK? It's getting cold, I know, but like I always say, you will be all right. All right, so welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I'm so happy to be back on here. My name is Vivianoseni, as always. If you didn't know, now you know. On this channel, I talk about everything nursing, lifestyle, motherhood, life in general, all the bits and bobs you can think of. So if you like any of this good stuff, don't forget to click the subscribe button, click the like button, and join the family. Welcome back. So today, I'm just going to give you a little rundown of what I've been doing in the past week or so, 2 weeks or so. So I've been moving house, yes, and that's giving me loads of topics to talk about, trust me. And I'm going to be sharing all the good stuff with you all, and all the things you need to know to guide you whenever you're moving house or getting a new apartment in the UK. And what do you think of our new background? Hope you like it. I do go the extra for you guys, you know. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about settling in your new role as a pre-registered nurse in the UK. So like you all know, when you get into the UK, first and foremost, you have to start working as a pre-registration nurse or an HCA per se, or in some other trusts you're called a preceptorship nurse. So whatever tag or name your role is given, whenever you come into the UK, first off, just know it's just a pre-registration stage where you have to work as a band 4 in most cases. Sometimes it can be as a band 3 role in other trusts. So whatever band you're placed on is all dependent on your trust and their policies. You're placed on a band 3 role or a band 4 role, and you're either called a preceptorship nurse, a pre-registration nurse, or an HCA, depending on what it is. Here you have the opportunity to train for your OSCE and practice as a pre-registration nurse. In this role, you're not allowed to sign for medications. You have to do your medication rounds under supervision. And under this role, you have to do most of the things you do under supervision. And in some trusts, you are expected to be signed off for some procedures. You have to do your IV cannulation under supervision, get signed off for it, do your catheterization under supervision, both male and female catheterization under supervision, and get signed off for it. You have to do things like NG placement under supervision, must have undergone the necessary training that is provided by the trust, been certified, supervised by your seniors, and been signed off for it. Basically, most procedures, IV drug administration especially, you must have undergone the training and then been signed off by your trust, usually by most senior nursing officers, before you can be able to independently do these procedures by yourself when your pain arrives. So this process, or this period between when you get into the UK and when you get your registration pin, it's just like a grooming phase. You're never left alone. I get a lot of people asking me questions like, what will I be doing? Will I find it difficult when I get into the UK? Is it going to be difficult for me? Well, here is your answer. You're not going to be left alone. You're going to be guided. It's just like a grooming phase. And I'm going to be sharing tips on what you can do to make your preceptorship period or your pre-registration period not so frustrating, and that's going to help you to get even more experience and also get you to be seen as someone who is serious and into the business of nursing in the UK. Okay, so this period of pre-registration phase is a period where you have to gather all the skills you need, learn all you need to learn from your colleagues, from seniors, from your academy, from your educational centers, depending on your trust, or your care homes. If you're sent on training to by organizations that run OSCE training. This is a period where you do these trainings and get prepared for your OSCE. And once you've been fully trained and you feel confident enough, you register for your OSCE examinations, do your examinations and pass, because I know you can do it. Alright, so during this period, like I said, it's a growing phase. You will not be left alone. Okay, you have a lot of people around you, so be open to learning. Now here are my top tips for you as a pre-registration nurse in the UK. Tip number 1, be open to learning. Be very open to learning. Do not sit down at the backside and just watch things happen. Get yourself into it. Even if you don't know what's happening in there, get into that place. Talk to whoever is doing it. Can I have a go at this, please? Can I do this, please? And be polite. Be polite and friendly is my second tip. Be polite. I know every nurse should have this attribute, but then being a pre-registration nurse, be polite and very, question things, like ask for things to be done. Don't just be set aside and watch things happen. Get into the business of what is happening in your work area. Okay, for instance, a sister is about to go do some IV medications. Just go offer, can I run the IV line, please? Run the IV line through the IV fluid pump. That is one learning for you. Prepare the fluids. Like for instance, in the UK here, we have guidelines preparing IV medications, unlike the way it is in the Africa or wherever you may be coming from. There are set guidelines on how you should dilute medications before giving. So if you don't get into it and start knowing these things before you even get into that role properly as a registered nurse who is PIN and is fully responsible over whatever she's doing, then you may find it a bit daunting for yourself when you are left alone with your PIN and everybody feels that you should be confident enough to do those things. Okay, so get into there. Ask questions. Can I do this, please? How do you dilute this? Are you doing this way? You'll be shown the set guidelines on what to do, so you know forthgoing how some medications are diluted before giving. You know the precautions you should take before any medications. You begin to learn the VIP score of IV cannulation. Like I said earlier, you must have undergone the training and be certified and be signed off to be able to do some of this procedure. It can differ from trust to trust. It can differ from care homes to care homes or residential homes, but whatever the protocol is, wherever you find yourself, just get in tune with it and get yourself up and running, so you do not get frustrated when you get your PIN and then everybody leaves you alone and you're like, what am I supposed to do? I was just here last 3 months, nobody tells me I'm going to be left like this, and now I have my PIN, I'm left on my own. No, nobody left you on your own. You left yourself on your own. Now I'm telling you what you should be doing is get into the business of what happens in your trust. Get into the business of what happens in your ward. Don't just sit down on the fence. Put yourself into it. Well, good enough in some trust, you're even left alone already as a pre-registration nurses. That gets you up and going. But if you are just getting your registration as a registered nurse, probably it's your first year of practicing as a registered nurse, because the NMC now allows that people without past experience come into the register, then there is more work for you. But be rest assured, you will not be left alone. Like I said earlier, get into it, be polite, ask questions. Do not sit on the fence. Ask questions where you need to ask questions. Be hands-on. Get things doing. When people are doing things, put yourself in there and do it. Nurses love this. That I want to know attitude, that I can do attitude, that is what they are expecting from you as a pre-registration nurse in the UK. Okay, and you can do it. Trust me, you have done these things in the nursing school, so don't feel like what's happening. You can do it. All right. Now, another thing you need to be doing is that you should be getting those skills signed up for. Skill sets like IV cannulation, IV drug administration, catheterization, NGT placements. Do those courses and begin to get your hands on to practice those things and get yourself under supervision so you can be signed off and be ready to go as a registered PIN nurse when you pass your OSCE, and then you don't have anything keeping you back. For instance, you get your PIN and then you want to do IV cannulation, then you're looking for who's going to cannulate for you. Hey, You should have done that long ago when you're under your pre-registration stage, okay? So get it going. Be handsome, be polite, be friendly with people. Smile whenever you see people. I know this can be very difficult for us who come from Africa, but trust me, it's something you have to learn to do. Smile a lot and you'll be happy you did, because your patients will love you for that, your colleagues will love you for that. They will all warm up to you and then make life easy for yourself. Okay, another thing you need to do is to know what are the policies guiding things. Now, don't assume that you know what it is, how to do this, or how this is done. Trust me, a lot of things have policies. For instance, you can give IV gentamicin straight as a bolus, probably in Africa or wherever, but here it's not the same. So always follow the guideline and the protocol of your policy. Now, it can be a protocol in Trust A to do some things by bolus, and in Trust C to do some things through IV dilution. Now, always know the set guideline in your trust so you don't get into trouble. Always follow the protocol. We follow a lot of protocol here. It's policy, it's trust policy, is what you always hear. That is the way it is done, it's trust policy. Always know the guideline. Know the guideline when infection, when you think you're suspecting sepsis, falling ill. Know what you should do if you're used to the ill scoring system. If it is new for you here, study it, get used to it, be hands-on about it all. The most important thing is your willingness to learn, your readiness to learn, and your openness to learn, and being able to put yourself in the situation to learn and to learn from people, especially your fellow nursing colleagues and senior sisters in the world. Trust me, no one is an island. You cannot know it all. Even with your vast world of experience when coming from Africa or wherever, or from the Philippines or from India, trust me, you will be able to learn one or two things from people. So don't be an island. Be open to learning. Ask questions. Put yourself in there, and then you will be fine. Another tip I'd like to give you is do not get frustrated when you are asked to do HCA roles as a pre-registered nurse in the UK. Now, health assistant role, which I mean HCA, are roles such as taking care of patients, patient handling, moving patients, cleaning the wee, the pool, changing the bed sheets, cleaning the commodes, putting things in the storeroom, stocking up the cupboards, doing patient care, personal cares. Now, these are basic nursing skills like we know from Africa. If you come from Africa, you know what I'm talking about. You're expected, the families are open to help you to care for patients, and you don't really have to be too hands-on, except if you are in the pediatric or in the obstetric and gynecology, where you have to take care of mothers who are in labor. But here in the UK, you're expected to be hands-on. Now, this all depends. If, for instance, you are short-staffed in your work area and you're expected to do some of these roles, do not be perturbed or do not feel down. I know it can be very difficult for registered nurses to see themselves working as HCAs sometimes, but trust me, if you look at it as giving holistic care, then this should not be a trouble or a bother for you. So ensure that you don't get down because you're asked to do HCA roles. Don't feel bad because you're asked to do HCA roles. It's all part of nursing, and I believe when the short staffness stops to bite, you can get back into doing your full nursing roles as expected. But however, when doing your HCA role, do not lose focus on the fact that you should be working also as a registered nurse, but you're just expected to help where there is a need, or where you're expected to help when there is a need. Okay, so you'll be expected to do some things like personal care, hygiene, cleaning for patients and all that. Don't be perturbed. Just know it for a while. Even when you're a registered nurse, you see yourself doing these things for your patients. You don't have to wait for until the HCA come to do it. You do it by yourself. So why are you feeling bad now that you're doing it as a pre-registered nurse? Okay, just see it as a way to learn your communication and improve your communication with your patients even before you get your PIN, and be happy while doing it. Okay, so do not feel perturbed or bad when you're asked to do health assistant roles. And when you are given the roles to perform roles as a registered nurse, be open to show your skill, be open to learning, put yourself out there like I mentioned earlier, and the sky will be your starting point. Trust me, you are appreciated when you put yourself out there, when you put your knowledge and your skill out there, not just to your patients, your fellow nurses, and to your fellow colleagues at work. You're well appreciated, and trust me, you may think nobody takes notice of it, but they do notice, all right? And then you might just be on your way to getting a quick promotion. All right, so keep at it and do not give up at what you do. All right. Another thing I'd like to talk about here is that as a pre-registered nurse, you should practice for your OSCE. Whenever you're taking care of your patients as a pre-registered nurse, always bear in mind my OSCE. Whenever you're going to do your blood pressure, bear in mind my OSCE. Begin to practice those things with your patients who are live patients there with you, even without them knowing. Hello, my name is Vivianoseni. I'm here to do your blood pressure. Are you happy for me to go ahead to do your blood pressure? And you get the patient's response, yes, no problem. And you go ahead and do your procedure. There you're learning your introduction skills for your OSCE. There you're getting the confidence you need for your OSCE. You go ahead and you finish your blood pressure. You say your blood pressure looks all right. Your blood pressure is 120/80 and you're all good. Your temperature is fine. Everything is fine. Is there anything I can do for you again today? Okay, I'm fine. I just need a glass of water. Okay, I'll help you get one. You give your patient a glass of water, make them comfortable, thank them, document all you've done, do your clean hand hygiene before leaving and before even you start the procedure and you leave. Now, even before your exams, you're already practicing for your OSCE in real life, in your trust. All right, so as a pre-registered nurse working in the NHS or in the care home or in the residential setting, start practicing your OSCE set skills. Start practicing your OSCE communication skills. That is the time for you to do this. And when you begin to practice this, whenever the exam comes, trust me, you will be confident to go and hit the bull by the horn and get your OSCE up and going and passing your OSCE first time. Okay, so those are my tips for you as a pre-registered nurse working in the UK. Another tip is just be happy. Be happy, trust me, be happy. Whatever is happening around you, if you're feeling frustrated by the job, it's good to always talk about it. Call your managers and talk. This is something that affected me even as a pre-registered nurse in the UK. I had a lot going which I didn't open up about when I started working in the UK, and it did affect me. I look back now and wish, I wish I did things differently. I wished I talked about what was going on with me. My transition would have been perfect. It was a little bit dodgy for me, but I got there in the end. Okay, so don't wait until things begin to weigh you down. If you have issues with childcare, if you have issues with your accommodation, anything that is happening to you that you think is already affecting your job, talk about it. Call your manager, speak to them about it. You'll be surprised, believe me. You will be amazed at the amount of support you would get. But whenever you don't talk about these things, you just suffer in silence, and it begins to affect your job, which they see as you not being serious and as you not being fit for practice or fit for purpose, and then you begin to get problems. But when you talk about these things, talk about your concerns, they will be able to give you options or come up with things that will help you to sort your personal situation. Okay, don't keep quiet. Okay, always speak up. Another thing I want to talk about is have a good person skills with your friends, with your colleagues, with patients. Have a good person skill. Be a human person, if you understand what I'm talking about. Be somebody that is approachable. Be somebody people can talk to. Be somebody who can talk to people and who people can talk to. All right, and always try to wear a smile. Yeah, I'm even learning that, believe me, but try to always wear a smile. It will go a long way for you. I'm giving you the tips that I think should help you settle in your role as a pre-registered nurse. And like I said, your drug backgrounds, your some certain procedures which you'll be doing before you get your PIN has to be supervised. So know what these procedures are. Ensure you're supervised and you don't do those things by yourself so you don't get into trouble. And when you do get your PIN, you then settle into your role as a registered nurse, fully confident, knowing what you are expected to do, what is expected of you, without any fear of anything. I hope these tips help you settle in as a pre-registered nurse and also gets you up and running as a registered nurse. I'll be back with another video on what you should do to ensure you settle perfectly into your role as a pinned nurse in the UK. And until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, like, share, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you all in my next video. I love you all as always. Thank you for being here. Bye.